Our center Designer Bodies caters to a lot of international patients who come for their facial feminization surgeries and choose our center. Marhaba, hello everyone, नमस्कार, I am Dr. Parag Telang. मैं एक बोर्ड सर्टिफाइड प्लास्टिक सर्जन आहे और मैं इंडिया में मुंबई में प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ. I consult at Burj Al Reem in Abu Dhabi. While residing in your country and deciding to pick a surgeon for your facial feminization surgery, you may wish to compare the prices of these surgeries in your country and abroad. You may also wonder whether these surgeries are affordable and whether the cost that has been quoted to you by your surgeon is really worth the effort. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Parag Telang. I am a plastic and facial feminization surgeon from Designer Bodies, Mumbai, India. And in this video, I am going to talk about the cost of FFS surgeries in India and how does this cost come into play and how does it differ from the cost of FFS in other Western countries. The estimated cost of the facial feminization surgery depends upon the surgeon's fees, the facility fees, the anesthesia fees, the medications, any implants being used, any pre-op and post-op checkups such as CT scans and blood tests that may be required. The total sum of everything provides you the total cost for your facial feminization surgery. FFS is a highly personalized procedure and therefore the cost is curtailed as per each individual's requirement and therefore the cost may vary from person to person. The cost of facial feminization surgery in Western countries such as the US and UK ranges from around $50,000 to $60,000 or even more, inclusive of the hospitalization fees and the surgeon fees. The same surgeries are also performed for cis women, in which the cost ranges at around somewhere between $20,000 to $25,000. At the same time, if you compare the cost in India, the price range for a typical facial feminization surgery is between $8,000 to $10,000 for all the procedures in FFS. However, if you are looking for your FFS in India, the general price range is between 1 lakh to 3 lakhs depending on what all procedures you opt for. Now, what causes the biggest impact on the price of your facial feminization surgery? You have to understand that facial feminization surgery is a set of very complex and well planned procedures which can be customized to match your individual needs. Which procedures you opt for, how complex they are and what would be the duration under anesthesia are the key determinants which determine your total costing. A facial feminization surgery typically involves contouring of the forehead, shaving of the brow bars, lowering of the hairline, raising of the eyebrow, a feminizing rhinoplasty, maybe cheek implants, lip lift and jaw contouring. This is the complete set of surgeries that we perform in facial feminization and you may pick and choose any of the procedures from this and that will determine the total cost. Each of the procedures that you choose would add on to your total cost, but you may cut down on the total cost expenditure by combining a few procedures or doing a few set of procedures together in one single surgery. The surgeon's credentials and years of experience and artistry would also determine the costing. There are many plastic surgeons or maxillofacial surgeons who perform facial feminization surgery, but you should always look for somebody who does these procedures very routinely. Depending on the number of years of their training or number of years of their experience and of course the individual artistic touch that they have, the cost of your procedures may vary slightly from surgeon to surgeon, but it makes sense to look at the quality and the amount of work that they do rather than just the cost. The cost would also depend upon where your surgery is performed and where your facial feminization surgeon is located. The cost typically tends to be higher in the metropolitan cities because of the cost of living, and if you are not located in the bigger cities, you may need to travel to these locations to get your surgeries done, and this would involve some amount of expenditure for the transportation and accommodation in these cities. Another factor is also where your FFS surgery is performed. It will be a little more expensive in a hospital environment and maybe slightly cheaper in an ambulatory surgery center kind of facility. The cost of your facial feminization surgery would also depend upon the kind of anesthesia that is required and who administers it. Because these are complex surgeries which normally are done under general anesthesia, this can be administered only by an experienced anesthesiologist or an anesthesia technician, and because they need a certain amount of expertise, the cost of the surgery also depends on their fees. Various other factors would also determine the total cost of your facial feminization surgery. However, as compared to the rest of the Western world, the cost of facial feminization surgery is quite economical at designer bodies, our center in Mumbai, and that is because we have all the facilities under one roof. So, right from the admission process to the surgery itself and the post-operative recovery, everything happens in one single place, and that helps us provide you a better cost. At designer bodies, we perform all facial feminization surgeries, right from forehead contouring to brow bow shave to canthopexy to create a cat eye effect, feminizing rhinoplasties, cheek implants and jaw shave surgeries. Apart from this, we also provide body feminization surgeries in the form of hip implants, butt implants, we perform Brazilian butt lifts. So, everything is provided and you can choose which set of procedures you want to opt for. I am happy to note that our center designer bodies caters to a lot of international patients who come from many different countries, from the USA, from UK, from other parts of Europe, even Australia and the Middle East, who come for their facial feminization surgeries and choose our center for their treatment. I am happy to note that we provide the most affordable facial feminization surgery and with no compromise to the safety or to the kind of results that are achieved in the Western world. If you have any other questions related to the cost of your facial feminization, feel free to get in touch with us and we can send you a quote.